dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with a Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. I got some wind in my sails this morning and some lead in my pencil. A guest I've not spoken to before, just arriving behind the scenes as I say that sort of thing. But hold on a minute. No, it's okay. She's staying. You caught me at an inappropriate moment there, Donna. Looking forward to talking to you with Gabby in just a while. Bon dia, Gumpers. Happy Friday. Bon dia, alegria from João Ernesto. First greeting, bon dia, Gumpers. And bon dia, Portugal. Happy Friday from Mike there. Michael Barton in Miranda de Corvo. João Ernesto do Norte. Fresh from the bull running in Ponte Lima. Wishing us a bon dia, alegria, Portugal as well. Antonio F is in. The Slug is back, bigger and badder. Friend of Slug, James, is in, of course. Beautiful message here from Mary Louise Kiernan, or MLK, as we know her. Spent the day with Philomena yesterday. Tailored just right. How about that? Coimbra's poetry and history. Cod with prawns. Stop it, MLK. Beer and wine, conversation and fado music. Now storyteller. What? You're at the Storytellers till Sunday? Oh, how marvelous. Wow. There you go. That's living the dream right there, isn't it? Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us. And hey, Carl. Oh, hold on a minute. Good morning, my lovelies. Missing you. Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting. No need to miss us. We're here every morning, Raquel. Thank you for joining us this morning. Great to see you. And I know I am behind with my, like the man who sat on the bacon slicer, behind with my work. We will get back to you. It's not that we don't want to. It's that baby step thing, Raquel. We've been overwhelmed, but we will chunk it down. I'll do some work on that this weekend and get right back to you. Thank you for popping in. Who else was in? Eagle was in at 7:13 this morning. And incidentally, it is a bit of an open house this morning. It's going to be interesting. Correspondence that came in responding to the news that we're going to have an open house. One correspondent has said, does that mean the quantity's up, but the quality's down? How rude. Or mix it all, anything goes, and we'll think about it later. You know me, and you know that my final answer will be answer B. Mix it all up, anything goes, and think about it later. We're going to have some Feelgood Friday fun this morning, tag team style, people jumping on. Donna, thank you for being behind the scenes. Hold it right there for a minute, because I think we've got to wait for Gabby to introduce you properly. And I was sent a wonderful photograph of you. I believe you are a gifted cook chef, and you're going to be talking to us. Look, Donna's here with one of her dishes here. Wow, we're going to talk to Donna in just a moment. Looking forward to speaking to you and Gabby, Donna, and maybe Michael Heron, maybe Heather Binder, definitely Gabby, and well, certainly Donna now. And we'll talk to Claire, who opened up the co-working space over in Celia de Porto. She may drop in as well. So lots of fun. And you know what? You can call me on 913-590-303. That's asking for trouble as well, isn't it? Stormy nights. I've chosen my words wisely, I think, there in the United States yesterday evening. Should we stay off that this morning? It might be wise to, mightn't it? But that's not to say I don't ever want to talk about it. Oh, look, that's good to hear. Raquel loves me anyway. That's what you need, isn't it? Unconditional love in this world, in this strange old world of ours, in a particularly strange time that humans find ourselves in. Love you anyways. That's the spirit. Bon dia all from Jess as well. Good morning to you, Jess. Paul Richards is in from the Algarve. Greetings from a sunny, warm and hot Algarve. 32 degrees, the weekend coming. Fun time. Not sure what's going on behind the scenes there. Funny noises happening. I think Mrs. M is rendering a video which is slowing my bandwidth down. That's my excuse anyway. Barak is here as well. Hola, bon dia from Lord Travancore. All rise. Fabulous day here. Plenty of sun for the Lord. The sun shines on the righteous, of course. And today's mindfulness thought will have others from James, of course. But Milen is certainly very keen on this theme as well. Pause for a moment. With today's mindfulness thought, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. Well, that's great advice from Anne Lamott. We won't be doing that right now. There have been times on the Good Morning Portugal show when we've had to do that, but I don't think we need to do that right now. But you can request it in the chat if you want, and send messages, pictures, videos on 913-590-303. That's the number to call. We've got events from the Bairrada and some others that I've chosen. And the opening meme this morning was sea monkeys. This is closely connected with the Gen X event that Cordelia Blake is. This is a beautiful graphic here. Gen X in Caldas de Rainha. If you know Cordelia Blake, you'll be able to join this event. That's a beautiful graphic, isn't it? Gen X in Caldas de Rainha. And I'm seeing more of these. I think it's as Gen X become elders and change and age and sage, hopefully, as well. There are more of such gatherings. And one of the great emblems of the Gen X era, Gen X kids, was sea monkeys, wasn't it? But I've got another conspiracy theory for you here. Enter the wonderful world of amazing live sea monkeys. Many of us found out that that wasn't actually true. These, whatever they were, micro shrimps, just kind of, I don't know, they wriggled about in the water for a bit. And that was about it. And then they got pushed under your bed and were left there, only to be found 3 months later in quite the fungal state, I suspect. Now, this was just conditioning for children, wasn't it? So eager to please, they can even be trained. Let me know if you managed to train your sea monkeys. I just think that was a subliminal message, and this is probably sponsored by the CIA. Anyway, moving on, now that we've triggered recording devices all around listening stations around the world, a quick bit of event news. If you like John Bishop, the Scouser comedian, he's coming over to Lisbon. Isn't that amazing? I'm seeing more comedians coming over to the Portuguese comedy circuit here, as in the foreign ones. They're touring here in Portugal. John Bishop back at it in 2024. He's coming to Lisbon. And if you like him, you can see him on the 16th of October. You can book that up now. Bon dia, Carla Gumpers, then from a sunny Kynydine. I can do all the accents. 12 degrees at 7:15. Going to be a scorcher. 20 degrees this weekend in Belfast. Into Monday, Tuesday. Sunblock, hat on, drink plenty. Don't want a sun headache later. Yes, sun headaches. Portuguese people, I don't think will really know what they are when you grow up here in this climate. But for those of us like me and Deagle who grow up with 3 days of sunshine a year, there is a thing called the sunshine headache, and you may want to hydrate against that. Okay, back to the comments and the chat until we have our first guest, who may well be Gabby. Donna, do you want to let Gabby know you're here? Do you know what, Gabby? You are not in the waiting room, because me and Donna are over here live, and it may be that I've given the wrong link to Gabby. So let me just send her the right link, and then we can bring her onto the screen. I need to put here, try this one, Gabby. Okay, let me just send that over to Gabby now, and we'll see if that helps. Yes, great news from MLK. Thank you very much, Deagle. Bon dia to you, Coach Turner. Y a todos from you. Yay, it's Friday, putting the sex into sexta-feira, of course. A little rain forecast here today, but hopefully not much. So a good walk on the agenda. Tenha ótimo fim de semana. Bon fim de semana to you as well. And your God scored tip of the day while we're waiting for Gabby to arrive. If you sit at a desk for long periods of time, as many of us do these days, you will find your shoulders tightening up. Oh, yeah. Try standing up and circling your arms, windmill style. Don't go mad. I think you should batten down any hatches and move any ornaments out of the way. Pets, children, other people in the house. Don't go mad. Yeah, go mad. It's Feelgood Friday. Slowly is good. And to conclude, hello, Gabby, to add a little difficulty. What? We've got enough of that in our lives, Coach, without adding more. Start with your hands up in the air. Put your hands up and move one arm forward and the other backwards. So they're going in different directions. 10 rotations is sufficient. It is for most of us here. Wow, there you go. Gabby's doing it in the background. Deagle, already I'm running out of rainwater for my plants, vegetables. I know I can use tap water, but it's too hard, full of minerals. What does it do to humans? May has been fairly dry in Belfast, only 1.5 inches in the last 3 over 4. I have a barrel that holds 250 litres over the autumn. Winter, it's full, but goes quickly. Don't get enough to keep it topped up. By the start of summer, it's almost gone. He's got his own drought in his back garden there. Let's give him a nice big round of applause and bring him onto the screen. Gabby and Donna. Wow. I've had 3 shredded.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
to you, Gabby, and thank you for bringing Donna with you this morning. Exciting news, right? A food event here on the Silver Coast, I think.
Yeah, we are so much foodie persons. I met Donna recently, and we came across. We have the same passion for exciting food experiments. We are doing cooking, and so we thought, let's do something and get some people. Let's kick it off.
Nothing better than gathering around food, is there?
Yeah, I think so.
One of the great pleasures of life. And Donna, so lovely to meet you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? We've met Gabby before, you see.
Lovely to meet you too. I am a Lebanese American. I was born in Beirut, grew up in the States, and I have been obsessed with food since I can remember. I mean, since I was a small child, I was begging to do things in the kitchen. So I'm fascinated with all sides of it when it comes to the science behind it, the art, the culture, the history, just gathering together, everything about it. So when I met Gabby, it was just like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, fantastic. And do you live on the Silver Coast as well now?
I do. Yes, I live in Nazaré,
Cool.
and it's beautiful. I love it. I was in Lisbon for a little while. I was in Caldas for a little while, and I ended up in Nazaré, and it's a great place to be.
Oh, superb. Well, good to have you here on the Silver Coast, and even better with what I'm hearing about this fabulous event. So tell us a little bit about it, will you, Gabby, if you will?
Yeah, I thought, as you mentioned already, my dream has always been, as a trained restaurant owner, I was not the chef, but I was the host. I love to host people around a table, having a lot of, mixed cultures on the table, as well as the people, like-minded people who just enjoy food and maybe a little sip of wine. I thought it would be a nice idea to create something like here in San Martino, because a lot of things are going on here in Nazaré, but I want to really kick off some community. Let's call it a community who is really into this food experience. And I thought, okay, we are living in Portugal. We have exciting food here, but why don't we combine this? And so I was so excited with the Lebanese influence or Lebanese cuisine that Donna offers, because I think there's always a wonderful match between the local food and some inspirations. And the Portuguese were the first to conquer the world, to bring all the spices, to bring the tea to the world, to bring so many things. I think this is the Portuguese spirit of bringing the world into this lovely place. And
now they brought us here.
And now we are living here. We are, I think, and I felt so blessed. And so I thought, okay, I have a small apartment, but anyways, it's always big enough for having a small group, and just kick it off and let's see if we plant a seed, and if it grows, whatever comes along. And I'm a food and travel connoisseur for the last decades, and so I will take care of the wine. I have some wineries in mind that I want to showcase, that I want to bring to the people or spread the news, though it's not hard to find a good wine in Portugal, as you all know. But Donna, can you tell me something about the recipes, because it's still a little secret.
Great question, isn't it? How are you blending the Portuguese and the Lebanese together, Donna? Tell us about that, if you will.
Well, to be honest with you, it's not that difficult, because there is an Arab influence in the food here. I mean, even some of the ingredients, for example, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with those little white beans that you might get at some of the pubs here. It's called turmos.
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
chef.
so that's a very Lebanese thing as well.
Is it? I didn't know.
Yes,
That's a lupin bean, isn't it?
yeah, lupini beans. And
Yes.
so I also have a background in health and fitness. I'm a personal trainer and a nutrition coach. And one fascinating thing about those lupini beans is they are a complete protein source. So when I saw those here, I was excited on a whole front. They're very good for you. They're very nutritious. But yeah, so there is some Arab influence here in the food and the culture. So it's not too difficult for me to find some of these ingredients. Like another one, for example, is the bulgur wheat that they use here in some of their food. We use a lot of that as well. So when it comes to developing the recipes, it's really not that difficult. And we use a lot of just fresh ingredients as well. So you're going to see a lot of herbs, a lot of lemon, a lot of garlic, a lot of fresh ingredients, legumes, and very excited about it. So
wonderful. Okay, so let's get more specific then. Is the first one already in the diary? I believe it is, isn't it? June 13th. Is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Correct.
Gabby, tell us where's the venue? Oh, look at that. That's fantastic. Is that one of your sample or an example dish of yours there, Donna?
So that is one that I've done in the past.
Wonderful. Okay, that's like a mezze platter, is it? Is that what you would call that?
Mezza,
I beg your pardon. And it's very much a sharing dish. So that's the sort of conviviality we might expect. Where's this going to be happening then, Gabby?
So actually, this is my very private location, and I'm very happy. I'm living right in the center of San Martino, which is the Rua Comandante Alves. We will share this in within our community, the right address and the right spot. I'm just overlooking San Martino and the bay and the Atlantic Ocean. Though no sea view, but you can. It's 600 meters away. The angle is the Bomberos. I'm right around the Bomberos. So if anything happens in the kitchen, we have the Bomberos.
That would be fun. The more the merrier,
on
right?
purpose.
Just to be joking. And it's my residence here. It's my apartment.
Excellent.
I'm traveling a lot. It's not that spacious, but this will be a heartfelt place. This will be a place filled with love and compassion. And my spirit for hospitality is always on. And so I'll be happy to share the exact address and location details with the group.
And the reservation will be through your phone number, which is on the screen there. And perhaps you can type that into the private chat for me so that I can share. If you want me to share it with others who might want to book on this, then so Meza and Mingle, a private dinner event with Gabby and Donna here. While I've got you here, and that's just such a wonderful event. Well done, both of you, for doing that. We have people tuning in from all around the world, thinking about where to live in Portugal, of course. Donna, you say you moved from the capital up to the Silver Coast. What would you tell other people around the world about this part of the world, a part of Portugal, and why they might consider it? Or do we not want any more people coming here now?
Are you Nazaré in particular, or just?
Well, yeah, Nazaré, Silver Coast. What do you love about it, and what would you commend to others?
So I'm a big nature girl. I love to be close enough to. I don't have to be in the middle of a forest, but I like to be able to be close enough to some trees, close enough to just beautiful views. And Lisbon is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. I loved Lisbon for so many reasons. But there was that missing piece for me there. And to be honest with you, I wasn't planning on moving to Nazaré. I kind of ended up here. I had an awesome opportunity. And when I got here, I said, this is it. I love it. I'm seeing all these cliffs. There's hiking nearby. It's just quaint enough, but you don't feel like you're in the middle of nowhere either.
Yes.
So it's just something very homey about it.
Yeah, love that. And we have a similar story to you by the sound of it. We didn't choose to be here. Circumstances conspired to have us here, and what a beautiful surprise it was to be in this part of the country. Gabby, however, I think you saw this on the map, didn't you? And the shape of the bay. I remember having a conversation with you. There's just something about this place, isn't there, that had you want to be here, and you were drawn to be here.
Yeah, I think Actually, I was visiting Portugal for the first time like 6 years ago. And then I got so hooked up with this country. I fell in love with this. And when I first were shown to a friend, a Portuguese friend, showed me this place, I was standing on the Miradouro and I was overlooking the bay and I said, oh my God, I want to live here. And the universe cared. Surprisingly. I mean, a couple of months later, I found the possibility and it all went so smooth. So I think I want to inspire people just in my age. I mean, I'm a bit over 40 and I want to inspire people. If ever you have a dream, go for it, because and go for your passion and follow your heart. There's nothing better than this, because this brings you the energy and the vibes that carry you forward. And so when I said, well, let's do something about, I'm so passionate about food. And and soon I'll be touring around as I would say, a guide to show people who are not acquainted with this area where to buy the best ingredients, where to go to find the typical specialties. So this is all about the passion that is driving me and keeping me jumping out of bed every morning.
What a lovely message to people. Yes, go for it. And that brings its own energy, doesn't it? That's an inspiring message. So thank you very much, both of you. The event, and great to meet you, Donna, this morning. That's not
thank
the event.
You. It's always a pleasure, and it's wonderful. Thank you for the job that you do.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Thursday, June the 13th then, and that's at, what's it say? I can't read this. 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Gathering at 7 p.m.
5 to 7.
5 to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
From 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Okay. And then I'm guessing there might be a little walk along the beach after that on Thursday, June the 13th as well. That's wonderful. Muito prazer. Great to meet you, Donna. Do come back. Have a wonderful event. And to you, Gabby, as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing Donna. Bon fim de semana, and see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye. Bon fim de semana. Ciao, ciao.
Bye for now. There they go. And you know what? Steve Wright is here as well. He's next up in this tag team event that we seem to have this morning. And then Siobhan has showed up as well. So, Steve, let's bring you onto the screen. Wonderful. Good morning, Portugal co-hosts and friends this morning. Just jumping on a bit of a free-for-all. What's going on, Steve? Where are you this morning? Central Portugal?
Hold on. I'll open my blinds for you guys.
Oh, nice. Where are we?
It's raining outside. Take a wild guess where I am.
Oh, in His Majesty's United Kingdom.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry to hear that. But it sounds like you will soon be back here. And there's another event coming up. Steve, tell us about what you do very briefly, if you will, and then focus on this event that's coming up that a few Gumpers have got involved in, I think, because you've been inspiring people when it comes to investing in property here in Central Portugal, luxury living at a fairly modest cost, relatively speaking.
Yeah. So maybe I'll go like that. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah, absolutely fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So my name is Stephen White. I am the owner of HMPI Capital, or Home Miners Property Investment, Portugal. What I do is I help people either invest into property, or we rebuild houses to provide homes for people that are looking for either short-term rentals, long-term rentals, or we provide investments for people as well too, where they can purchase properties. We help them manage it, or we just basically do asset management within the property industry in Portugal.
Superb. And in many ways, I think you are the link, aren't you, between the people's, where people see a doer-upper and they have a dream. You're like the bit in the middle, aren't you? You can enable that moment when people are in Central Portugal, for example, and they see a place. I think it'll be so nice to live here or somewhere like here. And our dream is to maybe, have a quiet, secluded place in the countryside, grow a bit of food, have your own water source, live in a little village. You help with the bit in the middle between the beginning of that dream and the realization of it, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a very beautiful way to put it, I guess.
I'm a poet. Is it not really like that then?
I mean, it is like that in a sense. I guess I've never really thought about it like that. It's, it's nice to make money from property, but it's more of a hobby for me. It's something that I love doing. Yeah. I enjoy, turning what people think you can do nothing with and turning it into something beautiful.
Yes.
and allowing people to, live in places that some people thought would die off, or, there's certain locations that we're investing into right now where the average age is, between 75 and 80 years old. So we don't have that big of a window of where younger families are going into these areas, because there's no affordable, newer or newly renovated properties in those areas.
Lovely. I love that. The renaissance and regeneration that you're helping with in central Portugal as well. Let's bring Siobhan on. Siobhan, look, stop yawning behind the scenes there, Siobhan. We're going to bring you on the screen now. Look animated. Here she is. I think there might be a Canadian connection. Have you guys met before? I'm not sure.
I don't think so, no.
Right. Okay.
No, I don't think so. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Good morning to you, Siobhan. I've not seen this view before. Where are you this morning?
I'm in the bar, but it's like that outside.
In the bar. Super. Oh, I see. Yes, I see what you mean now. In beautiful.
It's our wine barrel. It's our wine barrel bar.
That's right. Yeah. Siobhan is inside a massive wine barrel this morning. It's a location. It's just a convenient place to broadcast. I don't think she's drinking already this morning, but this is one of the lovely features up there at a Quinta Salida de Porto, Steve. When you come over, we'll go and visit Siobhan, because it's a fantastic site over there. Before we go to Siobhan, Steve, anything else you want to add about your event? It is in Lisbon, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm hosting another networking event. This time it's going to be in Lisbon on June 22nd. This networking event, we welcome real estate agents, property investors, contractors, legal teams, accountants, so on and so forth. If you have or if you deal within the property industry, we invite you to come to our event. We usually have about 1 hour of talking about market updates and what's going on in the area. And then it's usually about 2.5 hours to 3 hours of networking, where you can meet people local to your community or in your investment location. And you can meet some great people and help you get off the ground with property investment, or help answer your questions.
Well, that's what you do, Steve, isn't it? And we're delighted to have you as part of the co-hosting team here on Good Morning Portugal. Have a great weekend in the UK. Hope that weather improves you. I mean, you've just had a bank holiday there. It's traditional that it rains on such an occasion, as I recall.
This is very true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you for popping in. There's the event link. It's Eventbrite, and reach out to Steve or to me if you want the link to that. You know where to find me. Have a great weekend, Steve. Thank you for being here.
Yes. No problem. See you guys.
Cheers,
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Right, Siobhan. Good morning to you at Quinta. It's a beautiful view through a somewhat better view than Steve had, we have to say, looking up through into the beautiful blue sky of Portugal this morning. How are you? What have you been up to?
Well, busy. You know,
Always.
Quinta printing.
Yeah.
And I thought I would share some news for you.
Please.
So, as you know, we did this project at a Quinta, our nonprofit, on a piece of land that I owned. And we built everything with recycled pallets, and, as you know, right, recycled things.
Yep.
No cement, no foundations. And 2.5 years ago, I was received a little visit from the local national police saying that I was heading to court.
Hold on a minute. Is that how it happened? You didn't get a visit from a council official. You got a visit.
I did have a visit from the council, but he just asked me some questions. I invited him in. He said he didn't want to come in. I said, well, you should, because
then you know what you're talking about.
You have a look. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Next thing you know, Sunday morning, I was about to jump in the shower, and I got a visit from the local GNR. And it's been 3 years, well, 2.5, nearly 3 years of huge stress. A lot of people ask me, and this is why I'm actually publishing it now, you know, what people, police coming, visiting, inspectors whizzing around the front. And long story short, we won in court. We were acquitted this week.
I am so pleased for you. And now that must be terrifying, mustn't it? That sort of sense of strong arming on a Sunday morning as well.
Yeah,
there you are. I mean,
but the reason I'm saying it is a lot of people ask me if they would recommend that, you know, I had this piece of land, which is a very controversial piece of land because it is in, as you know, the village with part of the reserve. But I just wanted to say that I think it's positive because the judges, the prosecutor, Everybody was actually very understanding, very correct. And so I was really pleased to see there's a younger generation of people that are actually working in these positions, and I think they were very fair. And I thought I would share that good news. So although we didn't say it, there were moments where we were a little bit skeptical about the future events at Akinta, but now we know that we're ready to keep going, and that's my
amazing.
exciting news I wanted to share with you this morning.
Well, I really
So-
appreciate that. Thank you very much for doing so. Quite extraordinary to go through all of that. I mean, how dare you live ecologically like that?
Yeah, well, listen, but I know it's good news because I know there's other projects also that are being accepted now. There's some Earth Houses, or whatever you call them, project that was accepting Caldish, and it is changing, so that's good news. So on June 22nd, the same date as Steve's event, that weekend, we're having Friday drumming, open to everybody. Come and have a drumming lessons with Tracy on the bongos. It's for the whole family. And we're having a big party, June 22nd, 23rd event with
Oh,
great
so I've got the wrong
creative.
thing on the screen, haven't I? That's July 22nd, 26th. So sorry,
Yeah, it's on my Facebook. I don't even know if it's gone up on our website yet, but if you go on our Facebook, you'll see it. So that will be an exciting weekend, and maybe if you're available, Carl, you could do some broadcasting from here, because it would be cool to have more networking stuff going on that weekend. And yeah, that's my news for this one.
Where you're sat now be the ideal outside broadcast unit, but that's the bar, which must take precedence over outside broadcasting, I suspect. The big wine
Yeah,
barrel.
but don't worry. We can always, for you, Carl, we can adapt. Actually, last event, we pushed our bar outside, so it was on the back field, so it was a little bit by the DJ. So if we know in advance, we can definitely make this your your broadcasting booth for that.
And that's
time, no problem.
All day on June the 22nd.
21st, 22nd, 23rd. It starts on a Friday. So we'll be celebrating summer and celebrating that. And I know we just announced it yesterday. We have a lot of people coming, and it's not going to be, there will be a market where actually we're picking out the people that are coming to the market. So it'll be much more focused on local artists, creators, and not taking up all the space, because we really want to make this hangout, meeting, more networking, partying, just enjoying everybody's company at the Quinta. We'll have food and drinks and music, fun.
There you go. That's the website address there, which is A Quinta de Salir. I'll put that onto the screen as well. And you could make a weekend of this, actually. If you wanted to go to Steve's event, the property networking event on the 22nd, you could go to A Quinta on the day before, during the day, and then go to the networking meeting evening, or come afterwards, come over to the Bay and come on the 23rd. So 3 days of fun then, by the sound of it, over there at Quinta Salir de Porto.
Yeah. So that's my news this morning for you, Carl.
Well, I'm sensing palpable relief. What does that mean practically then? You won't get any more calls, and you have a kind of permission basically to proceed?
Oh, no.
Well, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. My phone's cutting off.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you heard my question. What does that mean for you now? I think we've just got a nice freeze frame of Siobhan in the bath there. Okay, so we'll say goodbye for the time being. Nice big round of applause for Siobhan there, and she might come back and see us. And there you go, aquintadesalir.com. If you want to find out more about that weekend, great reason to come over to San Martino de Porto and to be in the Bay. Now, we may have others popping in on this open house day. Yes, we do. I say that, and as if by magic, Raquel appears as well. Hola, bon dia, tudo bem? How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Raquel. How are you?
Good.
You've turned up in person, so I can apologize face to face.
No, there's nothing to apologize.
Right, but you feel my pain, right? We're setting up a business with you, and I looked at the forms, and tell me, with clients, I mean, this is a very human thing, I suspect. You've got all the best intentions of the world in the world of doing X, Y, or Z, and then a form appears with many pages and lots of questions. and everything suddenly seizes up and clenches. And that's a great thing, I think, about the way you approach this. It can be done in baby steps, one step at a time, right? If
Yeah.
anyone is feeling overwhelmed by the process of starting a business here in Portugal.
Sure. And it also serves another purpose because it's kind of a test, a kind of a filter. Because it is a big deal to have, and to create a company, because then you will have to handle it. There's no like postponing anything. There's no postponing the payment of social security every month or salaries or whatever it is. So it is a good step to see how prepared people are to actually get into then the daily basis of running a business. And yesterday I was talking to a friend who is also considering opening a company, and we went back and forth in several directions. And then I told him, this is good, this dialectics of should we do it this way, that way, it's good. Even when I have the final informations by my side, I always wait like a day or two, just because I know, and this has happened 80% of the times, that like the day after the client calls me, sorry, could we change this or that or whatever. And so I always keep it like for me, like for a couple of days, just to make sure that it is a conscious, definite decision. And look, it's completely understandable. It is a major. It's like moving your address, moving your house. It is a step. It is a really big deal in your life. So there's no rush, okay? The rush is to get it done in your own timing. So if it's not done yet, it's because it's not supposed to be done yet. So I always really go with the flow. I've had clients that have taken over a year creating their companies. Because that was their intention, but then life got in the way, and then there were other ideas, and then after a year they finally did create their companies. So it is a matter of timing and only doing things you're really prepared for. You don't have to rush into anything. There's always tomorrow. And so this doesn't worry me at all, Carl. When don't be Carl, or any client, of course, don't be stressed about answering me or getting it done quickly, because this is not something to be done quickly. This is something to be done with a rational mind, with the rational thoughts, and with a completely set up mind. And there's always tomorrow, so there's no rush involved.
Fantastic. Well, I like that. Now, and no sooner do I mention baby steps than Big Phil Cookland is here behind the scenes. He'll be joining us next, talking of baby steps, breaking things down into manageable steps. You do that, Raquel. You're helping us with that. And for anyone who does like a bit of a hard time and being told off, you're not going to get that with you by the sound of it. They'll have to go somewhere else for that sort of thing if they feel good receiving that. And you also make a very good point about this is a taste of things to come as well. You're being very understanding, and you're encouraging baby steps and conscious and mindful creation of your business. The government might not be so understanding. If you ring up and say there's always tomorrow when it comes to paying your social security payments, and can I have some baby steps? Oh, actually, to be fair, they do installment plans. That's baby steps.
They do, right?
They do.
They also understand.
Yes, they do understand, but you've got to communicate with them, and you've got to take the step and be in communication with them. So I guess that's part of it as well, isn't it? Stay involved, stay in communication. And I thank you, Raquel, for that, for your understanding and for your constant support on this. What are you up to before you go? What are you up to this weekend in Cascais? How's the weather looking there?
Actually, I went to the beach yesterday. I know it shows because I know you were just wondering. You saw my tan and you were wondering where did she go. I went to the to the beach yesterday, and of course it takes like 300 days for me to get any sort of tan. But anyway, we have to start somewhere, and it was great, and it was just a reminder. Seriously, of how good of a life we have it here, not only in Portugal, specifically in Cascais. You know how I am about Cascais, but we went to the beach, great freezing water, but great environments, lots of families. We ended up having lunch by the sea. uh I mean, like, this is the life, right? I
Yes.
was like standing there, and my husband was in the water with them, and I was like, man, it's not even June, and we're at the beach, and we're chilled, and we're safe, and this is the life, man. So
I am
I'm
so
very
pleased for
thankful.
you. It's good for you to see that, isn't it? From time to time, to
Yeah,
be reminded that
yeah,
I was sat with my father-in-law last night, and when they arrived, my in-laws, they inspired an article because when you have visitors, they remind you, don't you? Because you take them and you can see things afresh. And I came
exactly.
up with, a vida boa. That's what we live here in Portugal,
The
isn't it?
boy, it is,
Yeah.
it is a
And
good life.
a great reminder. And I'm glad you were able to have a bit of time off and enjoy that with your family.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, thank God.
Super. Excellent. Good for you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
popping
so
on this
much.
morning.
Oh, no
And we'll
worries.
be in touch tomorrow.
Mwah.
Ciao. Thank you very much, Raquel. Bom fim de semana. Ciao, ciao. Great to see you. Até a próxima. There she goes. Let's keep that applause going because we've got I haven't seen him for a while. Here he is. Big Phil Goodwin, everybody. How are you, Phil?
Oh, I'm wicked, wicked. I hope you can hear me. I've only got a phone and headphones.
So hearing you loud and clear. I mean, when you speak,
Lovely.
we can hear you anyway when you speak in Central Portugal with your lovely, deep, rich, and fruity voice over there. I see quite a lot of development behind you. Are you in your new, beautiful dream home?
We're in the kitchen area. I wonder if I can do a little bit. That's the roof. Look at that.
Look at this.
Airplane propeller for a fan.
We remember when you didn't have a roof, Phil. And look, you've got furniture, like cups and stuff.
Yeah, and let me go over here. So let me see if I. So the kitchen units are made out of the wood that we use to make the concrete beams and stuff,
Brilliant.
and we've turned them into cupboards and drawers, and I'm waiting for the granite to arrive. This room is pretty close now. We're working on the veranda and storage, and then the other bedroom. A couple of months, hopefully, we'll be there or thereabouts.
And the dreams coming together. This is what you're all about, isn't it? This, yeah, always. And the mention of baby steps, that's part of it. You may have heard that. I decided to put this on screen.
I didn't hear it. It's purely serendipitous. I just happened to be floating to Facebook, and there was a post. I saw a message from you, and I just thought, oh, I've not seen him. Anyone can go on. I'll go on. Say hello.
I'm so glad you did. So thank you for the update on the house as well. It's been lovely seeing your dream come together. I mean, we knew you before you even chose the location, right? You came, you saw the location. Yeah. It had to be there, didn't it? There was something sort of ordained or destined about this particular place. And now it's coming together beautifully in front of our very eyes, as we can see this morning. And I think the Fill My Cup, the other work you're doing in helping others realize their dreams, that's coming on pretty well as well, isn't it? I think you've been talking been on a conference just recently. Tell us about that, if you will.
Yeah, we, Kimberly and I, excuse me one second. Kimberly and I are crew members. You may or may not have heard of Mike Dooley. He featured quite majorly in The Secret. He believes that our thoughts become things. So choose the good ones is his tagline. Because, if you choose negative thinking, well, as Zig Ziglar said, if you choose stinking thinking, then that's what you get. So Mike Dooley wrote a book called Infinite Possibilities, which has pretty much become my core piece of reading material. It's pretty much how I live my life. It works for me. Doesn't work for everybody. That's okay. Not trying to suit everybody, but it works for me. He runs 2 online certification courses a year where people come to learn how to teach this stuff. So, and Kimberly and I are crew members on those certification courses, and I've done 7 or 8 now. I kind of lost track, where we just help people realize. I mean, when I went on a course, I did it live in Denver in 2019, and I wasn't going. I just wanted to understand the work better. I wasn't going to teach anybody anything. there were a lot of people there who had a lot of skills that I would never have. I'm still not sure what Reiki is, if I'm totally honest with you. But there were a lot of deep and very spiritual people there. I did feel a little bit of imposter syndrome of, well, what am I doing here back at that time?
They all did, didn't they? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's 5 years ago. Now, and rather than necessarily try and set up a training business, Kimberly and I have set up a life business where we just live the lifestyle, and people can see what we're doing, and we run a few courses, and if they're interested, they can come and join. And I do my morning motivation chat for, a couple of minutes every morning. It's just a quick shout out. And people from, as far away as New Zealand, would you believe, and lots in America, and the UK and Europe. And it's weird because I think I really started it so I could shout out for me, really, to make it more my life seem, to start the day positively is just good. It doesn't matter what else I do in the day, but I have to start positively.
No, I think this is great. And me and Mrs. M, we're doing a new show on the Ethereal Network, like a subscription TV model in the States. And we want you on as a guest. And that, for us, is called The Moment. And it's about taking a moment. And I think it's probably quite a useful service in the world at the moment, to just remember, take a pause, take a moment, be a little bit mindful, and have a little bit of a pit stop every day. And this is what you provide. I guess using the motor racing analogy, you are the high octane fuel in the tank first thing in the morning for people with fillmycup.com.
Yeah, you would have. I don't think I will ever be shy and retiring, Carl, to be totally honest.
I believe that.
So the star will be of me, as it were. Yes. But isn't Kimberly said she's in the UK working at the moment. Excuse the dog; he's just very exciting. Excited,
like his owner. Fair enough. Joey's having well, I love this. People can sign up at fillmycup.com to hear your voice every morning with encouraging energy and words to boot. And before you go, you and Joey can Phil.
So I'll let him out, mate. Give me. Oh,
chaos.
He's gone.
Is he gone? He just needed to go out. Okay, fair enough. He needs to go and bark.
No, he just wants to bark at somebody going past the front door. It's what he does. He loves it.
It's his job. Now, before you go and have a bon fin semana,
yes.
I think all that you've been talking about, live as you dream, is something you and Kimberly say, isn't it? Live as you dream, and you're doing that, as you said.
Yeah.
Your life is a, you are manifestors. Your life is an example of how you think and approach life and living. And by the way, Viv needs to talk to you, Phil, which is great.
Just reach out to me any way she likes, messenger, anywhere. She can just get in touch with me. No problem.
So as a final message for us before we talk to Claire over at the Orca co-working space in Celia, we live in some funny times, Phil, don't we? And there's no harm in us living as we dream with the kind of world we want, right? Scaling it up to the collective, to the community. How might we do that? What are your concluding words this morning on how we might live as we dream, or what world might we dream of together, and how we go about that on a sort of tactical, practical level?
Well, I do believe passionately that the world that we want to have together would not probably involve any form of politician. Have we ever been worse served? Honestly, if you want to have a collective in the world, then you have to just reach out and give to others what you would like to receive for yourself. Woo-hoo! It's not much harder than that, is it?
It's not, is it? Yeah. Weren't we taught that at school or something?
Well, if you look at all of the major religions, all of them, without exception, have that as a doctrine. I mean, the Lord only knows how it gets twisted so that we end up fighting and in wars and and lying and cheating and stealing and behaving dishonorably. That is not the individuals that I meet on a daily basis.
No, right. It's funny that, isn't it? No, me neither.
Weird.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? Yeah.
Because apparently there's only 3 of those type of people. They just move around a lot.
Yes, and they get quite a lot of the share, don't they, of attention as well.
Yeah,
so
they do.
Let's
just be lovely to each other.
Okay, I think we could end the show there, but we need to speak to Claire and Paul. But be lovely.
I'm sorry, I'm going.
No, not at all. That is such a beautiful note to end on, Phil. Be lovely to each other. Cooklyn, sign up at fillmycup.com. Lovely to see you on the screen again, Phil. Take care. Lots of love to Kimberly.
Take care, mate. See you.
See you.
Bye.
Marvellous. Be lovely to each other. Let's be lovely to Claire and Paul now as well. Keep the applause going. Good morning to you both. Let's be lovely to each other. Those are the ground rules this morning. You're looking very marvellous, Paul, in central Portugal. As are you, Claire, in Salida de Porto, I take it. Are you in the co-working space this morning?
I am. I'm in the room with the big monstera that's been painted on the wall.
Check it out. Right. Okay. Quick intros, and let's find out what's going on in each of your projects. Claire, we've not had you on the screen here before. Paul, we know he's part of the furniture now here, but tell us a little bit about yourself, Claire, if you will, and your marvelous project in Salida de Porto here on the Silver Coast, just across from San Martino de Porto.
That's right. Well, I'm cousin to a friend of yours, I think, at the Quinta, Siobhan. That's relevant.
This is so Portuguese. Your cousin was on the show about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, is she? Yeah. So she introduced me to Salida Porto, which is where that's relevant. And I came here, fell in love. I do a lot of design and consultancy back in the UK. And I wanted to find a space where I could work and be inspired. And my tiny little fisherman's flat is very dark and didn't offer that.
Fisherman's flat.
Yeah. And I went to Caldash. There's some great spaces there. But I have a dog. I want to go to the beach. I want to walk in the backcountry. I want to be present. I made this decision a while ago when I was living in suburbia in the UK, that wherever I lived, I wanted to be present in that space. And so that's really where Orca co-workers come from. I wanted to create something where people could come together. They could do whatever work it is with their gamer, podcast, deep focus. There's a maker's corner if you want to bring your sewing machine and do creative things. There's a collaboration room if you want to book it for meetings. We've got a big 65-inch TV. Spaces to do the different things that you would in the workspace, but be able to step out and go for a walk, go to the beach, just be where you've chosen to live.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And I think this is transferable, is it not, Paul, into the realm where you work, the Renaissance. We've had Steve on this morning talking about the Renaissance of Central Portugal. You're all about that. Could this co-working thing catch on in Central Portugal as well? I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah, the co-working, it's all to do with volume of people.
Yes.
And I don't have experience of co-working spaces, but I know the ones that work are in towns. They're not in the middle of the countryside. You're then into retreats and things. It's a completely different market. I think if you've got the volume of people and facilities in a town, great, go for it and create interesting spaces. And you know, the open door, people will come, but it's harder if you're in more remote areas.
However, Claire came up with a brilliant idea when we were talking, because you mentioned in Caldash they've got a place. I know they've just opened a place because we spoke to Nelson and Antonio.
Nelson.
Yeah, we spoke to his mate Antonio because they've just opened up in Alcobaça.
Yeah,
and I think you've got an idea to have like a season ticket or a travel pass.
And Nelson's game. Yeah, I went to see Nelson again.
Yes.
So Robert Schifrin, who's been really key in setting up all of the IT and infrastructure here. We went to go and see Nelson over in Alcobaça and shared our idea of having a Silver Coast pass to try and support people who want to come to the country, work and travel through. So that's one person who's keen.
That's a great idea. It's a great idea.
And that's what we're going to be working on over the next few weeks to see if we can get something in place.
Yes, and Paul's absolutely right. I mean, you're not going to have a thriving, busy co-working space in a small village just outside Pedrogo Grande, but you might have a more of a retreat vibe there, mightn't you? If people come specifically to enjoy that Portuguese experience in the middle of nowhere, as it were, and enjoy the countryside and have the facilities to come together to collaborate and do a bit of work together. That's a possibility. And maybe how we're going to be living in the future anyway, right? It's look, cities are looking more and more redundant every day, it would appear, with the way things are happening with work trends and social trends and demographics and so on. And I think you've identified that, Paul. You're enabling that, making that happen out there in central Portugal. What's going on for you at the moment? Where are you in your projects? I know next time we see you, we're going to see some of the visuals, aren't we, of some of the projects you've been working on?
We will. Yeah. I'm recovering from a full day with the groovy architects who drove up from the Algarve. So we visited four projects that I haven't started yet to get their input. These are the guys that do all the renders and designs. And it's funny. I never think, I know it all, because nobody can. But just spending time with two highly professional and creative people, it's an eye opener. As ever, I've known one of them for 22 years, and it is an eye opener to sort of tune into other people's thought processes. I've got redesigns at this design stage that will improve flow of houses and also their value. So I'm recovering from that. It's got quite a late night actually, but So they headed off this morning, and I'm sort of blinking in the sunlight, wondering what happened. But,
well, isn't that
good.
wonderful? That's the essence of collaboration and co-working, isn't it? There you are in your fisherman's apartment. I think you described it as, Claire. And you can have a little look on the internet and try and get inspired, but there's nothing like being in the company of other people in a way that you couldn't have figured out like Paul, it was going to be a meeting, wasn't it? And then it kind of spiraled off into something much more inspiring and things you hadn't thought of by the sound of it. Is that what you're hoping for, Claire, in this environment that you're creating?
Absolutely. Yeah. Space for people to come together, get inspired, have things like a needs and wants board so we can take from each other, give to each other, offer community things. Just a hub, really. Yeah. What I'm hoping is that the co-work element supports the business, and then the small event space, small meeting room, it sort of could do 12 to 15 people, and then sort of open up a little larger, can do more community things. Because I think that would be something really, really nice for our village, particularly for Celia.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you both for being on. Rural Properties is where you'll find Paul. We'll see Paul on the show soon, and we'll have some visuals of these beautiful creations that are coming together that have now been turbocharged by what did you call them? The crazy architects from the Algarve?
Groovy architects.
The groovy architects from the Algarve. Fantastic. We're looking forward to that. Yeah. And how to find you, Claire? What's the best way to I mean, people can come for a working holiday, can't they, over here? They can work with you in the day and go do lovely things in the Silver Coast later in the evening. So how do people find you?
orcacowork.com.
Okay.
Or they can pop in. We've got Orca Co-work on Facebook and on Instagram. And it's very easy. We can set people up remotely. They can use remote access, just fingerprint our app to get in and use the space.
What?
So we've sort of made it as straightforward as can be.
Fingerprint access. That's amazing.
One little thing we have got that is just for anyone who doesn't have a computer or it ever breaks is we've gone old school, and Robert's provided us with a proper internet cafe style desktop computer, just if anyone is ever wanting or without.
Fantastic. You'll be showing VHS soon. There was a special retro.
Yeah.
Playing cassettes to people. Look at this, kids. Fantastic. Great to speak to you both. Thank you so much for jumping on. And we'll see you soon, I hope. Orca Co-work. Have a whale of a time. Orca. Someone had to say it, didn't they? Have a good weekend. Bon fin semana. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Claire.
Bye.
Ciao. There we go. What a morning this morning. Absolutely right, Joao Ernesto. Great to see so many good folks participating and contributing this morning. Let's go to the last few comments. Some of the things I missed out before. Yes, don't worry. James, we've got you. Mindful moment then, all together. The idea of meditation is not to create states of ecstasy or absorption, although that's not such a bad thing, right? But to experience being, and that will be from Chogyam Trungpa. We'll come back to your mindful dad joke after we've had a look at some of the events Andy has very thoughtfully sent to us. And we've got the Colour Run party. Oh my goodness, is that where you chuck paint around in sort of a Hindu-style celebration there? That's quite amazing. Where's that going to be? The Colour Run, Samel Barada. There you go if you want some of that. That's tomorrow, by the way. Get your white T-shirt and white trousers ready. A bit like Freddie, actually, here. I'm talking of white outfits. There they are. There's Queen in 1978. Amateur astrophysicist Frederick Mercury and Brian May posited that the planet's axial rotation was due to sizably posterior members of the female population. In 40 years, this theory has yet to be disproven or even refuted by the scientific community at large. Excellent. Festa Rural in Travasso, in Agada, that's happening. That started already and goes through until Sunday. We've got a Festa of Fermentelos as well, super festival at the lovely lake of Fermentelos. Bars, restaurants, bands, DJs, artisan fair, gymnastics and guided walks. Always a bit of gymnastics involved in the Bayrada, isn't there? Free paddleboarding in Vargos, Aveiro. How about that? If you wanted to try paddleboarding, you can do that tomorrow as well in that district. Festival in Covelha, in Anadia. A great local festival. Andy's been to all of these. He's tested them for you. They are awesome. And he puts them on the Gumper map as well. Donkey riding. This is a good one. A favorite, I think. Lunch get together for Rooster and Rice. Come and spend a different Sunday in the village of Ancash. That's on Sunday, this coming Sunday. And Dixieland Jazz Festival in Cantanhede. Marvelous Cantanhede. Lots of great Bayrada booze there. Dixieland International Festival returning to Cantanhede tomorrow and Sunday. Superb. Thank you very much. I think we've got one more meme, have we not? And a mindful dad joke from James. Stop blaming yourself or others. Learn feng shui and blame the furniture. Sorry about that, feng shui therapist. It's only a joke. It's only a joke. I'm sure feng shui can be used proactively rather than just to blame the placement of your furniture when you bump into it and stub your toe. Finally, then, thanks, James. Oh, maybe a few more comments have come in. But anyway, your mindful dad joke. It's a 5-minute walk from my house to the pub. It's a 35-minute walk from the pub to my house. The difference is staggering. Well, hey, thank you very much. Last few comments then before we wish you a bon fin semana as you put the sex into sexta for everybody. Squire of the Shire saying hi. Thank you to everybody who's been here. And I think I've managed to avoid all the Trump comments so far. Just leave that hanging there. It's not going anywhere, let's face it. So have a great weekend. Bon fin semana. Oh, and love to you, Hugh, on the way to Geneva, sticking it to the man on the bus to Lisboa and heading off to Geneva as well. All the best to you and your party there. And good morning, people from Lee McGrady, head gardener, who promised to show us a lovely garden this morning, but he wanted the whole show to himself. He got quite eggy when I said he'd have to share this morning. Learn to share. Be lovely to each other. Want to scream it louder and louder. What's that? Not sure what you mean there, but here's a great way to end the show. Ciao, Bellas. Have a great weekend. Bon fin semana to you. All the best. And bye for now. Let's play that video. Go and have a cup of coffee. Ciao. Where's that coffee video? I can never find the coffee video. I'm going to play you this instead.
Bom dia, Portugal!